CBS 5 Morning News.
Well, as we know by now, it's one of the worst flu seasons in years.
Yeah, and you parents out there know one of the places where germs are spread and shared, it's school.
We've also been sharing a lot of this, the little Purell that we've got all over the station. Jason, though, went to a Valley preschool to see what they're doing to help minimize the spread of the flu and other illnesses. Jason?
Yeah, Pat, and the school that we visited said that preschools in particular get a bad rap when it comes to germs and illness because, as we know, children, they like to touch everything. Now, the folks at Sunrise Preschools know this, so their plan involves not only the frequent washing and sanitizing of surfaces, but they make hand washing a year-round priority with particular emphasis during this time of year.
We actually ask the parents when they walk in the door, as they drop off their child in the classroom, for them to walk straight to the hand washing area and wash their hands.
Now, Sunrise has signs posted on every door reminding parents and students to wash their hands. The thinking is that this practice will help cut down the amount of germs and illness entering the building. Now, their plan seems to be working, with minimal sick time being used by students and staff.
We remind the children to wash their hands so much, we actually have parents tell us that the children are reminding them at home when they forget to wash their hands.
They teach the kids that they should be washing their hands for the amount of time that it takes to recite the alphabet, and obviously it seems to be working for them, so kudos to them.
It's the last week of school for many Valley kids.
Yeah, my daughter actually graduated last week. Kids are graduating yesterday, some are today.
I think today it's half day for us. Then they spring her loose on us for the summer.
And then your hair will really turn white. Be stressed out.
So if you have kids who are 4 or 5 years old, now is the time to start enrolling them for kindergarten.
That's right. Kristen Anderson is at Sunrise Preschools to find out when kids are, of course, ready for that big day.
Hey guys, well, I guess I'm the big kid in the class. How you guys doing? Look, it's counting time. I absolutely remember this part of preschool. So I'm going to get up, and you guys are doing a great job. Keep on counting. You know, guys, I don't have kids. However, I do remember going to kindergarten. I remember the first day of school. After preschool comes kindergarten, and I think that gives me a ton of credibility. So Dana is the president of Sunrise Preschools. And Dana, there are a lot of questions when it comes to sending your child to kindergarten, from preschool to kindergarten. So let's start with age. What is the right age, 4, 5, or 6?
Actually, in Arizona, children go to kindergarten when they're 5 years old. In most school districts, the cutoff date is September 1st, but some charter schools have a later cutoff date.
Okay, so they need to be 5 years old.
They should be 5 years old. Yes.
Is there a test as far as placement goes? You have to be a certain skill level?
Most school districts have what's called a kindergarten roundup, where they meet the children first, and they do some social and educational testing prior to the first day of school. Some parents choose to test their children in early if they have an early birth date, and other parents may choose to hold their children back a year and start them when they're 6 years old if they feel like they're not ready socially.
Okay, you know, I've heard of when the parents that do start their child when they're 6 years old, doesn't it get a little strange with sports and more advanced, and other parents, hey, that kid's bigger. Do you ever see that?
It's more of a phenomenon now. I think over the years we've seen people feel like their child is maybe gifted and want their child to start school early. But over the past couple of years, we've seen parents of boys choosing to start their children later so that they will have an advantage later in life for sports. But oftentimes parents make that decision because their child isn't ready socially to be away from mom all day, or not be able to follow the routine, not be able to not take a nap, those kinds of things.
Okay, I wasn't joking around, Dana. I remember my first day of kindergarten. I remember when my parents left, and I'll just say, to avoid being dramatic, it was not a good day for me. So I guess my question would be, how do you know when you are ready? Are you just throwing that tantrum the first day, or would it be a continual thing?
There's a lot of steps to get a child ready, and the biggest one is for there not to be a surprise. So most of our children today are in preschool or childcare, or they go to Sunday school, so they're used to being away from mom for small amounts of time. Otherwise, parents do like a dry run, go to the school, visit, meet the teachers, see the classroom, maybe drive there a couple mornings in a row, so that there isn't such a big surprise or such a big trauma. Talk about it, pack your lunch the night before, get your clothes ready, build up some excitement.
You know, my parents didn't do that. They were great parents. They are great parents. Love them to death. But that's a great idea.
Yeah, it works. It works.
It
No
really
surprises.
Yeah, no surprises. So you get them ready. And skill-wise, what would you say would be an easy way to get your kids ready?
A lot of practicing at home. So children should be able to recognize their first and last name, maybe memorize their phone number, those kinds of things. Address, alphabet, letters, numbers, colors.
Okay.
Sing songs.
Dana, thank you very much. I always appreciate talking to you. Okay, well, there's some helpful tips. You guys, if you're sending your child from preschool to kindergarten, or maybe you did homeschooling for preschool and now you're going to send them off to kindergarten, hopefully that helped you out a bit.
Okay, very good. That's a very traumatic and emotional time for parents.
Very.
And grandparents.
Well, you know, you go to the first day of school and you know, take pictures and have fun. And then, at least in my daughter's school, they were like, then you're out of there.
Get out.
We got to connect with the kids and nurture the, you know, the relationship between the teacher and the student and learn the rules. And there's a lot that goes on.
I know.
One Valley parent wanted to do something for those grieving families in Newtown, Connecticut. Her efforts touched hundreds who also got involved. Britt Moreno has more on the story of giving, and she joins us live. Britt.
Hi, Carrie. Sunrise preschool parents were at first tentative about talking to the media. They didn't want the story to be about them, so today it won't be. This story is about the community's efforts to bring gifts to Newtown families during a very tough holiday season.
1 week after the horrific shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, Valley parents' thoughts and prayers are with those families. Today, Valley parents' mission to send hope to those in despair.
There's about 700 children enrolled in the Sandy Hook Elementary. Every child and some of the siblings will get a book and stuffed animal or a book buddy.
An initiative dreamt up by a Sunrise preschool staff member. The woman who wants to remain anonymous and her daughters wanted to help those children who lost loved ones or friends. She asked Sunrise preschool parents like David Everett to pitch in.
This outpouring is incredible for this community. I mean, I really hope that this helps the folks up there and helps them get through this time.
On Monday morning, the gifts started pouring in. Parents and grandparents stepped up, bringing books and stuffed animals, and by Wednesday, parents were actually turned away because there were so many donations.
4 tons of toys were collected, far too much to send out. Half were given to local organizations. The rest are being sorted today and will be shipped out to Newtown soon.
This is Toto, and the book is The Wizard of Oz.
School President Dana Vella asked parents to donate a book and a buddy.
If you were to go get away from it all, get snuggled up with your stuffed animal and look through a book, it's kind of a nice way to be comforted.
And one well-known postal company reached out to Sunrise Schools wanting to ship all the books, stuffed animals, you name it, for free. I'm Britt Moreno, Fox 10 News.
It's 5:54. Welcome back. Is your toddler ready for kindergarten? It's a big question because now we've been talking about it's the time for enrolling your little one into kindergarten for next year. So you got to think about the deadlines. But we're live with Dana Vella from Sunrise Preschools. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
She's been a guest of the show in the past. And now we're talking about the things that parents should be looking for because it's not just about age. Being 5 years old by the cutoff.
No, actually what is most important is that the children are socially ready to be part of a large group. Oftentimes children might be academically ready because they can recite letters or numbers and they understand shapes and colors. But what's most important for a kindergarten teacher is to have a child that's able to work as part of a large group, but also able to work as part of a large group, take turns, those kinds of things.
And since you work in the preschool environment, do you think more parents are deciding to hold their children back? Because I've heard, it seems to me I'm hearing a lot more parents, but you said it's not really more than
I don't think so.
Before.
I think that the cutoff date for preschool is, or for kindergarten, it's Kindergarten Roundup right now. Many schools are actually having parents come in to check out kindergartens. Most districts' cutoff date is September 1st. Some charter schools don't cut off till December 31st.
Okay, so you have to be 5 years old by September 1st or December 31st. So if you're looking at those deadlines and you think your little one's ready, you can kind of open enroll at those other schools if you so choose. But let's talk about, this has been a big subject of discussion for a lot of families, and not even ones who have toddlers in the house because of the president. He talked about this at the State of the Union, saying we're behind as a country and we need to have, he pushed for mandatory preschool to get our little ones ready to enroll in kindergarten because he said you can't just start out the gate and send them to kindergarten.
Not anymore.
Right.
Back, 20, 30 years ago, kindergarten was your first experience with other children. Now what they're looking for is to have children ready for school by the time they first start kindergarten. So that 4-year-old year is really critical to get them used to being part of a small group, being part of a large group, taking turns, waiting in line, and being able to actually ready to learn. Right. When they get to school.
Waiting in line, you said, what are some of the other social cues that you should be looking for and kind of encouraging with your little one?
You're looking at children who are able to hold a conversation with adults, who are able to socialize, share, take turns with other groups of children within reason. Not every child is ready to do that.
And academically?
Academically, they should be able to recognize their colors and their numbers, maybe their shapes and their letters, follow simple instructions, maybe 2 or 3-step instructions.
And ask opinions if you do have a child enrolled in preschool, ask opinion of their teacher there, and then also maybe do a visit of a kindergarten
Your best bet is to go down to the kindergarten, meet the teacher, see the classroom, and really think about how your child will fit into that environment.
Are they ready for this? Okay, it's a lot to bite off now, but Dana, thank you so much, and she has more tips on her website.
Preschoolers, those adorable 3- and 4-year-olds, they are usually the first to get the flu, and then they pass it on to mom and dad, and it, of course, spreads from there. Diane Ryan tells us what many preschools are doing to prevent this strain of the flu.
There are no smiles for you.
Any teacher can tell you schools can be a hotbed of bacterial infections and viruses.
Kids are touching everything. If you think about it, kids are touching absolutely everything.
Kids are just curious, and Sunrise Preschool wants them to be curious, but stay healthy as well. They do a lot of hand washing here.
So is it fun to wash your hands?
Yeah. It's become an important habit for kids at Sunrise.
All day long, we wash hands after every activity. It's the best way to prevent the spread of any sort of wintertime misery.
There are reminders posted for parents, too.
The walls are covered with fun signs, but this is my favorite. Love is in the air, but so is the flu. That's why the school is taking extra precautions.
Some of the preventive measures include wiping down tables, doorknobs, chairs, even toys. Teachers also wear gloves. Even with all the precautions, though, kids will still get sick.
Because the flu is airborne, you can catch it at the grocery store.
Diane Ryan, Fox 10 News.
Preschool urging parents to make sure their kids wash their hands a lot while at home.
Lots of times with the kiddos. So what do you do to keep them busy and keep them still learning? We've got you covered. Tips from keeping them entertained all week long without spending a fortune. All right, if the kids aren't already on spring break, it's just around the corner for you and the family. The kids may love having a week off of school, but a lot of parents have a hard time trying to figure out how to keep them entertained, of course, without spending a fortune. And that is why Dana Vella is joining us this morning. She is the president of Sunrise Preschools and an expert on child education. Thanks for being here this morning.
Oh, thanks for having us.
A lot of folks are saying, oh, we have to spend tons of money. Not necessarily the case, because there's lots of great ideas that can also help the child in many ways.
Oh, I think it's possible to have a ton of fun. Maybe stay a little bit educational and not spend very much money at all.
And not let the kids think that they're necessarily learning anything.
Never, never let on.
Let's start with your first tip, because obviously we live here in the Valley of the Sun. I know it was a little warm past couple days, but it's going to be another beautiful week.
It's still beautiful compared to what summer's going to be like. So it's really good idea to stay outside. Obviously, you can go to the park or the jungle gyms, but you can make those activities, including hiking trails, a little more fun if you add a little scavenger hunt. Maybe ask the children to pick up items on the scavenger hunt that start with a certain letter, maybe go through the alphabet depending on the age of the child. You can really make it more interesting.
All right, volunteering is another great way to get the kids involved and also teaching a valuable lesson.
You can't start too young with volunteering. So it's possible to do simple things like when you go to the park, clean up all of the trash and make sure the children understand that you should always leave a place better than you found it. There's other opportunities for church, maybe the Humane Society, dog walking, all of those kinds of things are fun stuff to do on spring break.
A lot of folks will bring out the paints, the chalk, and do some arts and crafts, but you say take it a step further.
I definitely think so. Don't you remember making dioramas when you were little, maybe for your president or a presentation you had to do on pythons?
So that's something like with a shoebox, almost like a 3D scene, right?
Exactly, make it 3D, but you don't have to go to the craft store. Just have the children find things around the house, in the garage, in the yard, and put it together to make a diorama.
I love that idea. I haven't done that with the kids yet. I'll have to try that. All right, this is something we love to do at my house, is just let loose, turn the music up, and have a dance party.
Have a dance party. It's so easy with technology to make a playlist that interests everybody. If the children are older, you can have some friends over. And again, technology allows you to maybe even videotape or edit those kinds of things, put them up on Instagram or Facebook or make a Vine. You can take it a little further and do a little American Idol action or maybe America's Next Top Model.
I love it.
Have a lot of fun depending on the age of the child.
I love it. This next tip takes us back outdoors because it's a perfect time to maybe also plant and start a garden.
You know, it's really a very good time and very easy. Even the dollar stores now are selling little planter boxes and also the potting soil that you'll need. It's fun to plant things that grow easy like herbs.
Okay.
And then you can even bring them back inside and have the children help cook with them later once they've sprouted.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Haven't done the gardening thing too. And really, these are age appropriate at
yes,
any age.
It depends. You can make it work for any age.
Okay, very good. The kids, of course, love painting and doing things like that, but you say take it a step further again and maybe have an art show. How would you do this?
I definitely think that all of those creations you make, you could use your dining room table, your kitchen counters, invite over grandma and grandpa, serve some hors d'oeuvres, invite the neighbors over, have the neighbor children help, and actually have the children show off their work in that fashion. Take pictures, use social media, post those kinds of things, and really celebrate their creativity.
And then your last little tip, I love this, redecorating your room, especially for maybe the teenagers or the preteens who are bored.
Definitely the preteens or the teenagers. Get some magazines, maybe even look on the internet, print out some pictures, start a dream board. Get a piece of poster board, cut out things, redesign your whole room, get your creativity flowing.
I love it. Well, they must love you at Sunrise Preschools, let me tell you, with all your great tips. Thank you so much for sharing those tips.
Thanks for having us.
Because, yeah, keeping kids busy can sometimes be a challenge.
Yeah, thank you.
Making it fun is key, right? Thank you.